Well, I think we can all agree it's been a ridiculous first season in Serie A for us. As it stands right now, the lowest we can finish is 5th. If we get one more point, we will finish in the Champions League spots, and we could still finish 2nd. What utter mad world do we live in? And welcome to Season 2, Episode 7 of Let's Go Parma. I'm Stubo. Thank you so much for joining me in today's episode where we are going to be playing Atalanta and probably not Cagliari. We might just go straight into this season review after the next game. Because quite honestly, once we play the Atalanta game, unless something dramatic happens, we will know where we're going to finish in the table. The likelihood is we're going to be finishing in the top 4, which is nuts to me. We've already technically qualified for the Europa League, so today is all about whether we finish in the Champions League, and if we do, we'll then do the season review. If that sounds like a good plan to you, please do leave a like on the video and consider subscribing to the channel as well for more Football Manager awesomeness. If my voice seems a little bit funny, it's because I'm eating a McDonald's while I'm recording this, full disclosure. And I've got some smoky barbecue sauce, and it's just got to my throat. I don't know why, but it's made my throat go whoo like that. So it's spice, bitter spice. But yeah, we're doing very, very well. Since you were last with me, we've actually won a couple of games, which has been delightful. I'm trying to remember what the last game you guys saw was. I think it was it the Bologna game? I think it was the Bologna game. Possibly the Bologna game. I can't remember. Whichever game it was, I'm not too sure. But as you can see, we've been on a really good run, actually, since we lost against Lazio. We've won every game apart from the Fiorentina game. We've just come off of beating Empoli and Brescia very well as well. Empoli have been relegated, by the way. But Mihaila has been anonymous for the majority of the second half of the season. He's had a couple of good games here and there. Bagged himself a hat-trick, was trash in the Brescia game. Classic Valentin Mihaila. Turns up, disappears. But, as I said, it's all down to the Atalanta game, and this is the 11 that we're going to be taking now, hopefully, to get at least a good result. We'd like a draw at the very least. This is a team who beat us earlier in the season, I think. Did they beat us earlier in the season? I think they did. Atalanta, where are you? Yeah, they beat us earlier in the season. So we'd like to avenge that performance with a good one today. It's Dragowski in goal, Sambia, Grimal, Valencia and Valeri in defence, Sciattarella, Monchu and Shackleton in midfield with Totino, Sarui and Esposito up front. The only injury we have is a slight one to Ramon Enriquez, which is a shame because he played really well in the last game. Brunetta is fit again, but it's Brunetta, we're not playing him. And other than that, everyone is fully fit. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for what will probably be the final time in Season 2, let's go. We go then, the penultimate game to the season. Both of these are away matches. We have played our final home match. It was the one against Brescia, which we absolutely dominated them in, but we just could not get more than the one goal, which was scored, I think, by Sarui. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think it was Sarui. But as you can see, Atalanta are directly in front of us in the table by 2 points. So we win this, we go ahead of them with one game left to go. The title is no longer in grasp. It's only the last game that really kind of affected that. Juventus winning their last game has already happened. As you can see, they beat Venezia 2-0. Had they not won that, had they lost that, we would technically still be in a title race. We could still finish on 80 points. Sadly, they won that game, which would have been ridiculous. Like, forget Leicester winning the title the season after they stay up. We'd have won it the season that our first season in the league, and I mean it's obviously not going to happen, but how ridiculous would that have been? Speaking of ridiculous, I would quite like us not to lose if that's okay. I feel like that would be quite ridiculous. It wouldn't be actually. Atalanta are far better than we are, but that hasn't stopped us all season from beating teams that are far better than we are. Mailer now looking to get the ball into the box, gets into the box himself, gets it into Pessina. Pessina heads it in, but it's going to be very interesting to see what happens here. The assistant referee doesn't have his flag up, but we are going to VAR here. The referee is going to have a chat with the man in his ear, and we are going to see whether maybe this is going to be allowed or disallowed. It has been allowed, and Atalanta lead 1-0. I have a feeling it's going to be a very long afternoon. Mailer just dribbles inside the box, crosses it to the far post. Cena loses his man, and it is 1-0 to Atalanta. Do you know what? It's fine. Let's not worry about it. It's all good. It's all good. Esposito wins the ball off a pass. Passalak, I think it was. And Tino now gets the ball to Sambia. Sambia going to try and whip the ball in. Remember, the man who scored the goal that got us promoted as champions, and gets it to Esposito, but Esposito's header is too far out, not strong enough, and it is still 1-0 to Atalanta in the 15th minute. Musso now looking to Get the ball out. Gets to Demiral. Demiral is probably a player I would consider looking at if we have the money in the summer. I don't know what our transfer budget is going to be, by the way. We don't have a lot of money at the club, but maybe Europe will change that. And Esposito buries it in the bottom corner. Monchu wins the ball back. We didn't have him in the last game against Brescia. He was being rested, basically. He's played a lot of football. He's really come into his own as the season's gone on in that playmaking role. But as you can see, that playmaking role doesn't stop him from doing this. He bombs forward, gets the ball off the player, just pass it to Esposito, and Esposito just leathers it under the goalkeeper. And all of a sudden, we are back in the game. Marvellous. Continue doing that, that'd be even better. Can we get a second, boys? I don't think that's too much to ask, is it? Let's get a second. Let's get a second. As it stands, of course, this would cement us as a Champions League team for next season, which is still utterly ridiculous. And I need to talk about that a little bit. The aim of this save, I didn't really thoroughly define it, I don't think. But realistically, Parma are a team who were a top 6 Italian club, and we've kind of already got them there. So it's a bit of a mad one. Obviously, we're not going to end the season the end of save this season, but we're probably we're going to be in European football next season, definitely. There's an argument that we could end the save after next season. I'm not thinking that we're going to do that. I think that would be utterly ridiculous. Speaking of utterly ridiculous, Luis Muriel puts the ball in the back of the net. It was a wonderful goal, but I have to question our defence there. We've just kind of let it happen. But it is going to be checked by VAR, and it has been allowed anyway, so it doesn't really matter about the check. Very concerning that we've just let this happen. The defender here, is that Sciattarella? I think it's Sciattarella. No, Sciattarella's there. It's Valenci. Is it Valenci or Valeri? I think it's Valeri. I click on him. Valenci! Horribly out of position. I don't know what he's doing over there, but he gets himself horribly out of position. And in the end, we get lucky because Sebastiano Esposito manages to get another equaliser. But Valenci was out in the left-back position for some reason. And I don't know why. He shouldn't be anywhere near there. Him and Grimal are having a shocking game, the pair of them. We are just going to have a bit of a word with both of them, actually. And we're just going to tell them... in fact, I'm not going to berate them. I think berating them is a bit too harsh. What we're going to do, we're going to tell them to... We're going to demand more from them. We're going to demand more from them. That's what we're going to do. And a bit more from Dragowski as well. They've kind of switched off a little bit. Qualified for the Europa League, and they're happy with that. I'm not. I'm not going to be happy with anything, really. I want us to do as well as we can. I thought Greenwood was going to get back and make a tackle then, but he didn't. It didn't end up needing to happen because Dragowski was equal to the shot. But yeah, so we've already kind of achieved some of what we wanted to do. We're finishing near the top of the table. We're doing that in the first season in Serie A, which is ridiculous. And then next season we'll be competing in a European competition, at least the Europa League. Not even the Conference League, at least the Europa League. So next season, if we wanted to, we could end it next season. Now, what I actually am going to do is we're going to try and get ourselves... If we're not in the Champions League next season because of the result in this game, we are going to try and go into the Champions League. What's that one? We're going to try and get us into the Champions League, and then we're going to see if we can win Serie A. That's my aim for the save. If we can get a Serie A win, that's the main thing I want to do. Kind of like in the West Ham save. The aim was never really to win the European trophy, but if we could win a European trophy, it would be great. What I'd like to do is win the Europa League. Now, I know there's a chance that we're going to be finishing in the Champions League spots here, but the Europa League, I feel like... Parma win the Europa League? I'm pretty sure that's one of their big trophies that they won. Pasalic gets to Pessina, into Muriel. Muriel just puts it across the goal, which is a bit frustrating. But yeah, in trying to think of what the actual end game of this save is, you know, there has to be a definitive thing that we do that ends the save. But I don't want to end it after a third season because it kind of feels a bit ridiculous. And also, we haven't really had the chance to properly grow this team. And obviously, we need to add bits to it because we're going to have a lot of players go out on loan from their loans at the end of this season and at the end of the next season as well. I've just thought we haven't made any substitutions and we've got both tired players and players who are playing really poorly. So maybe, just maybe, we need to do something about that. Mailer now looking to cross it in, gets it in. Valenti heads it away, gets it to Totino, who's going to try and look to do a counter-attack here, possibly. No, goes all the way back to Sambia. And that's probably the wisest thing to do. Let's retain a little bit of possession. Let's not just launch it forward aimlessly. Let's actually try and pass the ball about a little bit. Right, Monchu gets it through to Esposito, and is Sebastiano Esposito going to get a hat-trick? He's not. He hits the crossbar, and we miss out on a Sebastiano Esposito hat-trick. We missed out on going in the lead for the first time in this game. Right. Zagaritis is coming on, as is and Valenti's coming off for Below. I got that completely wrong there. Valeri's coming off for Zagaritis, and Below is coming on for Valenti. So Valeri and Valenti both having shocking games. And then for my final trick, Jamie Shackleton has not played well. We're going to bring on... no, I tell you what, we'll put Sarui into the midfield. And we're going to bring off Shackleton for Mihailo or Dennis Mann. We'll bring Dennis Mann on, swap him and Tino around. So we'll do that. That'll be the 3 changes. And let's see whether that can garner a winner. Hopefully it can do. We're just going to encourage the boys as well. We've done really well to come back twice in this game. We're coming up against a team who are vastly superior to us. But we're hanging in there and we're doing well. I'm going to drop a little bit of praise at the end of the game because we've come back twice. And we've looked good doing it. Monchu didn't have a good race in there, which is a bit weird because I thought he had a very, very good game. Got an assist as well, but hey-ho. A draw is not a bad result against this lot, I have to say. It is not bad in the slightest. There were a couple of poor performances in there, but I'll take it. I will absolutely take that. Happy, happy days. Right. I'm going to quickly double-check the table because I think that cements us in the Champions League spots. In fact, there you go. Qualify for the Champions League. Got budgets, everybody. We've got budgets. I don't know what to expect from this because we've not got a lot of money in the club. But with the Champions League money coming in, maybe, just maybe, they'll give us something. Well. Don't know what I was hoping for, but that's not a lot. Wage budget's pretty much the same, and alright, okay. See you in a minute for the season review. And here we are for the season review. The final game of the season was nothing special. It was a boring 1-1 draw. It was a team that wasn't going to finish anywhere else other than the top 4 versus a team that had managed to survive against promotion. It was one of those games. We absolutely battered them, but we had no desire. There was nothing in there. I had a bunch of kids on the bench. Ended up not using any of them at all, actually. I thought, put them all on the bench, give them a chance, but I really wanted to win the game. We didn't end up winning the game, but we didn't lose it either. So that is definitely a positive. But we're going to get into this season review, and let's have a look at just how good this season was, shall we? So, starting with transfers, if the game wants to load, anytime. Do we start with transfers? Have I skipped it? Yeah, I skipped it. Clicked it too many times. I was so impatient. Transfers in. We had a few of them. Best player of the season, without question, that we've signed, according to this. Signing of the season, Monchu. We signed him in January, I believe. 17 appearances. Well, 19 including 2 substitution appearances. Couple of goals, 5 assists. Honestly, he did really well when we came in. We paid a fair whack of money for him, but I think he started to come good towards the end of the season, so I wouldn't disagree with that. Also, I wouldn't disagree with the idea that Sebastiano Esposito was an A+. We've got him for next season as well, which is the most important thing, so I'm very excited to have him. Lucas Klutner, I would be very interested in bringing back. Didn't pay a lot of money for him, came in, got a couple of assists, did a very, very good job. Totino, we actually had less season? Use your words, Stu. We actually had him last season on loan, and outside of our control, it was made permanent this season. I'm glad it was. 13 goals, 6 assists, 19 goal contributions in, what's that, 33 games? Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Dragowski, I would say, is close to being signing of the season. I know this says F, however, this guy has been pretty incredible. He's only conceded 33 goals in 37 appearances. He's got a really good clean sheet ratio from what I can remember. I don't understand why this is as bad. Yes, we paid a lot of money for him compared to what his value was, but I actually think he's going to be worth more now, and I think clubs are going to be in for him. Sarui came in and did a good job. Didn't have to pay any money for him, and also we've got him for next season, which is even better. Brunetta we won't talk about. Again, outside of my control. We didn't sort that out. Happily look to move him on. Jamie Shackleton came in. He'll be going back to Leeds. He did a very good job for us when he needed to. That was fine. Ramon Enriquez, I thought was going to be better than he was. But I actually think if we had him for another year, he would be fantastic. I might try and get him for another year as well. And at Paguma, I nearly forgot about him as well. No money paid for him whatsoever. He came in, he did a job for us. Again, would not be against having him back next year. Transfers out, we're just going to focus on the bigger ones here. There aren't a load of massive ones, but there are a couple. We had a lot of players out, as you can see. But people like Hanani, that one was one outside of our control. Jan Karamo, I keep going off back and forth on this one. Was it a good deal or was it not? Ultimately, he wasn't playing very well for us. His contract was running down. We cashed in on him. I actually think he going out like that was okay, to be honest with you. I don't think it was the end of the world. DeMarco we cashed in on. Honestly, didn't do much for us. Not completely unhappy to see him leave, if I'm being honest. Balabe, be honest with you, he could have been a superstar for us if we'd have kept him and actually played him a lot more, but he just wasn't performing at the standard we needed him to, so he has gone out, and I'm not unhappy about that one. Juric, I would have liked to have gotten a few more good games out of him, but it was like pulling teeth, so I'm not unhappy to see him leave either. Dan, I'm not going to try and say his surname. Would have liked to have kept him. However, we did notice at one point that some of his defensive stats left a lot to be desired. Yes, he's got good positioning. Yes, he's got good tackling. Yes, he's 6'4". His heading is 11, although his jumping reach is really good. He's got 7 for strength. So I'm not unhappy that we let him go. He actually scored 3 goals for Ascoli. That doesn't surprise me at all because the man is a man mountain. But happy we let him go as well, to be honest with you. Kone, he doesn't really matter. He's not that good. Aliou Traore, yeah, he went. We let a lot of players go, and that's not even all of them. There's a lot of loans as well. Well, actually, there's not as many loans as I thought, but a lot of players went out, a lot of players came in. I think I'm much happier with the squad we have now than what we started the season with, and that is the main thing. So there's the season results. Board expectation, avoid a relegation battle. We finished 4th in the Champions League spots. We pretty much sold out our arena, 22,172, 99% sellouts. I don't know what this is. I think that's meant to be competition awards or something like that, or competition top goal scorer, isn't it? Yeah, Sebastiano Esposito with 17 goals. Did all right. Got an A+, unsurprisingly. Ended up finishing 4th, which I will take. Cagliari are the team who we drew against on the final day of the season, sorry. They had just confirmed that they weren't going down, so it was a bit of a ball draw in the end. But as you can see, if we look through our run, we have these group of good results, a few bad results, a few good results, a loss, a few good results, a few losses, a few good results. Man, that's a great end to the season. For a promoted team, that is ridiculous. Italian Cup, won't talk about it. And then our biggest win was a 5-0 win against Cremonese. Match to remember was a 3-0 win against Venezia, and 2-1 against Torino was the source of the goal of the season. Monchi's first goal, if I quickly show you this, because this is a stunning piece of magic. Let's watch it. Junior Sambia with the assist as well. Game will load. That'd be delightful. There we are. Let's have a nose at how fantastic this goal is. So Sambia is running down the wing, as he has done all season, whips the ball in, over to Monchi, and watch this. Bang! Bang! And the dirty's gone. What a strike that is from Monchi. Again, he grew into the second half of the season. He was absolutely fantastic and just so good. Financial wise, the competition prize money went down. I'm assuming that's because of the, I don't know, is that because of the Italian Cup maybe? I don't know. Is it because we're still waiting for some money to come in? Not 100% sure, to be honest with you. Dennis Mann, Tino, Monchu, Inglese and Mihaila are the top shirt sellers. Every other bit of financial stuff went up, by the way, so that's definitely good. We've also increased our club reputation to national, which is great, and hopefully that means we can get a bit more money in through sponsorships and stuff like that. That is the team of the year. Dragowski in goal, Sambia, Greenwald, Valenti and Valeri. Probably agree with that back five. Sabatka, Chiatarella and Enriquez. I would say Monchu should be in there, but he was only here for half a season, so I understand that. Totino and Mihaila on the wings. Mihaila, every time he played well, I agree with, but I think one of those should be man. And then Esposito up front, I don't think is arguable. I won nothing, but fine. Not bitter about it in the slightest. In terms of club awards, fans player of the season. Esposito, young player of the season, Esposito. Signing of the season and goal of the season, both to Monchu. Top goal scorer was Esposito with his 18 goals. Pascal Chiatarella got 9 assists, got the most assists for us. Seb Esposito had the majority of the Player of the Match awards as well. Best average rating. And Leo Greenwell with the most passes completed per 90 minutes with 67. And the record breaker was Pascal Chiatarella in terms of worst discipline, 12 yellow cards. Competition awards, we have got a few. Serie A awards, though. Roberto Inglese was the Player of the Year, so this must be literally from January to December award. So Inglese won that. He also won the Top Goal Scorer award. This must be glitched a little bit, surely, because he can't be the top goal scorer for last year, surely. I mean, he did score a lot of goals. If we have a look at him, he did score 31 goals. So maybe he is that. I don't know. I might have a look at that in a minute. Serie B midfielder of the year to Tino. And then that's the under-19 Italian best forward is Sebastiano Esposito, even though he's 20. We did very, very well. I can't complain too much about the season, to be honest with you. The only frustrating thing that we've got is the idea that we have no money to improve this team for a Champions League run, which is a bit of a concern. Schlager wins goalkeeper of the year, the Austrian goalkeeper of the year, so I'm assuming that... Oh, it's because he's on the shortlist. That's the reason why. Manager of the Year shortlist. Following candidates are thought to be among the front runners for award. It's us and Paulo Fonseca. So we get to vote. So we're not voting for Paulo Fonseca. Who's got the lowest win percentage? Let's go for Claudio Ranieri. This is a cheesy way to do it, but we're going to go for the lowest one and hope everyone votes for us. There you go, Claudio. Have a vote there. Have a vote from me. But yeah, I'm a little bit concerned at what is to come next season, because that is not much of a budget. I mean, yes, the committed spending means we've got a decent chunk of wage budget, but we've got less than £1 million to buy players and only 15% of revenue to keep from those transfers, which does worry me a little bit because we're limited anyway, but that limits us even more. So maybe, just maybe, we need to be having a look at this squad and we need to be thinking to ourselves, what can we do? I've still got the under... No, I haven't actually. We need to be thinking to ourselves, what can we possibly do? Let's do it this way. And let's get rid of some of these youngsters out of the team. So I did start Mir in that last game, just because we needed a defensive midfielder. And I just fancied being a little bit fancy, to be honest with you. But what do we need to do to this squad? Bearing in mind we've got no money to do it, how are we going to do it as well? That's the most important thing. So if we take all of the loan players out and start from scratch on this team. So we know for a fact that we're going to have Esposito back next season. That's a given. And we also know that the same is true about Saruri as well. So they are definitely going to be back. Let's put Valenti back in just because. Let's pop in Valeri back in as well. We're going to have Sobotka in the midfield too. And then let's pop in Monchu as well, even though he's currently injured. So... let's have a look at this. So that is... oh, we got no right back. Put some beer back in. That is the starting 11. Or a starting 11. Because I don't know whether I'd have these guys that way around. I probably wouldn't. In fact, bear with me 1 second. So, one position I think we definitely need, looking at this, actually, is that. We need a Mazzala. We've got Chiatarella. He comes in. He is a good backup holding midfielder, if not a starting holding midfielder. So that's absolutely fine. Osorio, I'm thinking we move on. I don't think he's good enough anymore. So... if we can get Akpaguma back, he can go and be one of the rotation defenders as well. We're obviously losing Klutner. Again, if we can get Klutner back in on loan, I wouldn't be against it. And then Mazzala is definitely a worry. I feel like we cash in on Wally and Cyprien. I don't think he's the player that he once was, and I feel like we desperately need someone to come in and play in that position. Inglese is currently our backup striker, but we are getting Lorenzo Luca in. So we are going to have more options in that area. Of course, Dennis Mann is there as well. Brunetta, we're looking to move on. Rispoli's retiring. I didn't show you guys that, but Rispoli is retiring. So Osorio, I'm looking to move on. Cyprian, I'm looking to move on. We'll just get rid of him from here. And then, I don't know. After that, I'm not 100% sure. We definitely need to improve the team. But it's difficult to know how to improve the team when we don't have the money to improve the team. A challenging transfer window, I think. There is definitely money to make, but not a lot of these players are actually worth a lot of money. I mean, our most valuable player is Saruri, who's on loan. Monchu's not going anywhere. We might let Greenwell go for the right price. I would not like to let him go, but we might let him go. Totino's going nowhere, but he is valuable. And then Dennis Mann's worth 77.6 million. We've not got anyone who's like a 20 to 30 million pound rated player at the moment. It might just be because of the contracts they're on, and maybe that's something we need to do. Maybe we need to look at contracts and give some players a bit more cheddar cheese for their efforts. But I don't know. I think it's going to be a very interesting season to see how this squad, minus all of the loan players, if we just take those loan players out, with the exception of Esposito and Sarui, so there is a striker and an attacking midfielder on the left-hand side in there. So I know they're not there at the moment, but imagine that they are there. I'm interested to see how this squad with minimal funding does in the Champions League, but that is a problem for for another video. Oh, goodness me. All of which leaves me to say, thank you so much for watching this video and watching this season. If you have enjoyed, do please leave a like on the video. Consider subscribing to the channel as well for more future awesome FM content. I have been Stubo. You guys have been awesome as always. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.